Oh, okay. This. Hey, onegaishimasu. Okay. Receptive, positive, receptive, positive. Now, the whole thing is we start out this way. It starts out something, but receptive, positive, receptive, positive. Now, there's the balance of receptive, positive, which is kind of its own thing. Okay? Receptive, positive, receptive, positive, receptive, positive. And then there's the balance, which means both are going on. Okay? Yeah. Good. Now, it doesn't seem like anything's happening, but receptive, positive, receptive, positive, receptive, and positive. Good. Let's establish the side. Let's synchronize towards the left. Receptive, positive, receptive, positive. You could do this slower or faster. Do it slower, it's more like Tai Chi. And if you do it faster, you know, like that. Receptive, positive, receptive, positive. And there's the balance. Both going on, they're equal. They coordinate with one another. There's a lot of good things. Receptive, positive, receptive, positive, receptive, positive. Good. Okay, now just stay standing. Okay, let's. All right. Receptive. On the turn, it's a positive right there, isn't it? Receptive. On the turn, it's a shift to the positive. Now, when you're here, there's not that turn there, but you know. All right. Okay, so let's just start out with that basic blending motion. Receptive, positive. Now receptive, positive. Okay, all right. So. Good, yeah. All right. Now, one of the things, for example, if somebody grabs you strong there, I react easy. The receptive, and then off to the receptive is a positive motion. Okay? So one of the things, for example, somebody goes, oh, I had this tendency to react. It's easy. Receptive, good. Positive. All right, good. All right. Some people kind of like to train with the grip there, but just easy there. Receptive, positive. Yes. All right. It kicks in kind of quick after a while. You know what I mean? You grab them and you lick them. Let's go for a walk. All right. Or, receptive, positive. All right. Whatever the movement, receptive, positive motion. Whatever the receptive, positive. It's a kind of a very important team, very team after a while. Okay, right? But anyway, that's what we're doing here. Right? Good. Okay, all right. Now, what I'd like to see you do a little bit, that's a little angular. Receptive is rounder. All right, now you could take a bowl, you could smash it. Now you got an edge, like broken glass. Okay, but you want to keep the bowl nice and round. Round, that is receptive. Has a roundness to it. Okay, so that yes. Receptive kind of has, a little bit of a paradox. There's a positive attitude to the receptive happens. Okay, so receptive can't kick in if I'm kind of this way. So, yeah. Okay, round. Yeah. Not to say positive is jagged, but that sense right here. Jagged here. Round. Okay, you see that feeling a little bit right there. Okay, all right. Okay, let's take a quick look. And one of the things I kind of want you to look at, we're working both receptive, positive. You don't really have, let me just major in receptive. You might, okay? But one of the things about the receptive, it's kind of a round feeling, right? Somebody gives you a priceless work of art. It's a bowl made by a master potter, okay? Now, if you smash the bowl, you get all these jagged pieces, right? But, appreciate the work of art. Don't drop it. Don't crack it. And see the roundness of it right there, right? And right here, the roundness continues in the circle of the receptive. You see what I mean? Receptive is, I'm going to smash this and cut you with a jagged edge. Not a great attitude, okay? Round. Now, deep, big bowl, deep bowl, okay? Well, those are just a couple of things. Now, both receptive and positive are there. I'm trying to do a receptive movement, but my attitude is kind of not so good. Full, relaxed, eye contact without staring. See the whole room. Then you get that round, don't you? Okay, let's go one more time on that basic exercise. Let's go. All right. Yeah. Okay, now you're coming up a little short there, so you have to kind of add that thing. They're in balance already. See, the receptive motion, you have a positive attitude. Okay? You're like Kavon Looney. I knew we were going to lose when he missed those free throws at the end. I thought, okay, here it comes. Come on, step to the. You're a three-time world champion. You know what it's like to make a free throw. I've been missing lately. Easy. Good. Now round. Okay, that's a little jagged. See, paradoxically, you're not going away from them. See, you're rolling towards them. Unity here. Easy, easy, easy. Easy is not easy because we want it better. Now, easier. Now, there's still liberty that wants to get away. Trump won. Unless you want to lose the free of the country, we're still Americans. We'll work it out. Okay. No, you want to go somewhere else? No, we're going to stay in America and work it out. Easy, but we'll smooth it out. Rough. I don't want to. It's going to be a jagged 4 years. I don't want to be jagged myself. Okay. Easy. Attitudinal shift. I'm going to foul you, Siobhan, because you're going to miss 2 free throws. You're going to hit a 3. That's a 5-point swing. The whole game went there. Easy. Easy. Wow. Smooth. See, you're actually going towards me. You see, it's not like away. It's toward. Right? Okay. You don't have one without the other. You can't really, in other words, I'm going to be receptive. Okay, attitude must be positive to be truly receptive. Okay, all right, okay, all right. Yeah, yeah. I kind of want you to do a little bit like the shake around this. And right there, when we go that way, it's a little on the jagged side. Okay. I did this for, I don't know how long, with Saito Sensei and round. And that mythical bowl is also deep. So sometimes we use an image in order to get that. So I don't want to go, I just shattered the bowl. Oh, I still want to go that way. Just easy there. Yes, yeah, yes, yeah, that motion there. Hey. Now when you get that, there's space. All right. Good. Good. But if I don't have that full receptive, it gets jagged. Okay, right? Okay, right?
Hi, thank you.
Okay. All right. All right. So we kind of have the receptive positive balance. See, one of the things is, okay, this is receptive, this is positive. But ideally, you're offering, they're both there. See, it's easy. Okay, no, this is this and that's that. And we figure it out, we do a form. But there's that balance, receptive, positive, receptive. We're not doing anything, although there's a lot going on right there. The sensei referenced things like true emptiness. What is true emptiness? Well, one way of looking at it is that, we have an eye trying to do the movement out there. Receptive is receptive, positive is positive. Okay? When you start to touch their balance, it's not a vacant feeling, but it's a very alive emptiness. It's just there. Attitudinally, it's kind of a cool, kind of almost a joyous place. Creative. Too busy to easy there. The easy is kind of a magic word. Okay? So just put your hand out. They're both going on. See, when I say use the word kami, he's talking about. What's he talking? He's talking about energies. Izanagi, izanami. Amaterasu Susanoo. He liked the Shinto pantheon. Good. They're both going on. See, in other words, it's almost like that. That would be the receptive, as let's just say that's Izanami, just kind of a, it's not gender, but the receptive, the feminine. Okay. But guess what? It was Izanagi that passed the ball to Izanami. Let's just use a sports term. All right. There's Jerry Rice catching in the old days a touchdown pass. But there was Joe Montana throwing the pass to Jerry Rice. Okay, so if we kind of use sports mythology. But there, look together. All right. All right. There's always one, always the other. And there's an easiness there. That's the balance of them. That's a lot of what we're working. Your mental state creates your body. Too much going on, too stressed. Easy there. Body, off of that more relaxed mental state, starts to feel itself, be an equal partner to the mind. That's another mind, body, in that pantheon. The mind is your positive. The body is a more receptive, because if you're thinking negative thoughts, it influences your body. Your mind creates the body. Okay, that's good. It goes the other way. If my body is all cramped and like this, then my mind's going to be kind of negative. So just learn to be easy, relax. Body gets fuller, the mind starts to kind of get a little healthier. So, all right, everybody up. And let's come up for a bit. Stretch the legs here. Now that's more of what I call a positive motion. Positive. But there's a receptive and positive and balance before the outward motion. And since I was talking about kami, he was talking about forces and energies, right? And you see a kami? No. Kami largely is invisible to us. Okay? But, all right. So, what's missing here? Receptive, the balance of receptive positive, and then we get that motion. Izanagi, Izanami, Amaterasu, Susanoo, whatever you want to call it, Superman, Wonder Woman, a balance. Okay, then there's movement off of that. So let's just off of the seated. Got it? Good. Okay, let's just, but that's the layout. Okay, different partner. Yeah. Yeah. Good. Now, let me ask you to do a little bit. Let the balance kick in just a little forward. Might pick it up as a calmness or a quiet. And all this activity, it could be a storm out there. You're the calm center of it. Okay? So let that straighten it out a little bit. Okay? Now you're a little quick in that. Yeah. In other words, you feel my grip, right? You react a little too. Yes. So that's just that little. Right? All right. put into the positive. But the receptive positive balance sets up that motion. It's a little easier with the grip. Yeah. Yes. Okay. All right. Okay. Yeah. Yeah, that's good. I think I would say a little bit. You're the quarterback who sees the wide receiver open. Now throw the ball. That's about the only thing. Okay. That's good. What you're doing is really well. Because you have to see the receiver open before you can throw the ball, right? I see it. Touchdown. 49ers have doing that very well lately, but that's another issue. All right. In other words, you can have the best arm in the world, but if you can't see what's going on, you can't do anything. Right? Between three defenders, right touch pass, right, Jerry Rice opens, he does the rest. You know, that sort of feeling. So, you know, that very like physical yang, but there's also the yin of mind perception. I don't have that. I can throw the ball through a wall, but I'm not going to do much. You see what I mean? So if he comes in, everything is easy. You know, off of that balance, so things start to naturally happen. And then there's naturally, naturally. The receptive positive start to kind of get into balance, and we get all this nice wave action, spiral action. You know, since I was talking about kami, one thing is probably there's different energy shapes, different forms. We don't see them. We see a physical form, but now right there, you're going, okay, all of a sudden the wave kicks in. But you know, I'm staring at the wave, knowing about the wave, boom. And so that place of balance, yin to yang, and izanagi to izanami, izanami to izanagi, you know, that's an important one. Now for you, you got a really good one. You know that now throw the ball. You don't have to throw him, but you know, that area right there, you know, okay, let the ball go. Put your key out. Okay, all right. Shogi, being shut out, yeah. Women disappear. Ah, there's somebody. Okay, good. Okay. Now let's look at the ryote, all right? Yeah, receptive, positive. Okay, now here, a little bit of a stretching motion. Okay. I understand the form. That's good. A step back, a step in. Okay. But there are energies. Okay. Okay, we're just going to do the stretch. Now, uke is very important. Nage starts out receptive to positive. But, okay, good. You do a lot of things from there. Okay, good. Okay, good. A lot of things from there. All right. So what we're training to do is to kind of stand in that receptive positive balance. But the movements, you see the receptive with the positive. So when Osensei was talking about kami, my own sense of it, people didn't like it. This is concrete, right? He was saying, no. There are energies and forces in it. Okay? Because I think you kind of saw, okay, this is a war, even though it's not technique here. Oh, well. Now it's a project we're on together. Okay? And it comes out of a balanced place. So, you know, the Aikido is not so much you're trying to beat your partner, you're communing with. Now, we you know, the uke tends to be a little bit more the receptive, and nage tends to be more the positive. So we play both roles. I'm old, so I don't play the uke role the way I used to, but I still go around and receive your movement to kind of give you a sense for it. Other than that, it's just the form. Okay? But right about here, the pause it, turn, boom, just to there. Here, boom. Receptive, positive. Okay, let's change partners. Spread out. This takes more room. Okay. Receptive. The system is jamming up, but what's jamming the system up is me reacting. Okay, good. Okay, fine. Good. Free and easy. What is that place like? It's free and it's easy. It's free. I mean, you know. Turn the hip, step. Turn the hip, step. Very good. Go. Now you're running into the wall. Okay. Turn the hip, step. Now we're running into a heavy weight. Okay. Now relax. Prevent. Start trying to raise. Turn the hip the other way. Oh. So it starts out with a little bit more of a sense for how to organize your body. Okay. So your mind engages in how the body works a little bit. So put the arms out. Turn your hip. Step back. Turn your hip. Good. Now you can just stay there and just turn your hip and turn your hip. But right about here, what you find is, you know, everything, you know, whatever, you know. Receptive, positive, positive, receptive. Those energies are just around a bit. So, you know, you turn your hip, step back, turn your hip, and good. You got the movement. But turn your hip, step back. That's a receptive. Turn your hip. That's the positive. Your mind relaxes, let your body function. What happens? The flow state happens. Okay. All right. Mainly what it is my mind activity is paralyzed. My body can't move. Okay. Maybe this one, and go this way. Easy. If you start to react, it becomes a boulder. Here's a leaf in the wind. There's a nice breeze. I enjoy the ambience of the leaves blowing in the wind, and it's a beautiful day. Or conversely, somebody parks the car in my driveway and I can't get out. And I got to call and get it towed. It's going to take time, but easy there. Easy. You create one, you create the other. Right? We want to create the flow state. Okay? All right? No. Okay, good. Okay. Now, one of the things, for example, there's instruction in how the body operates. Sometimes what's important, if you start to understand how the body operates, you start to understand its partner, how the mind operates. Okay? And one thing about both, they operate off of simplicity. Bruce Lee once fought a match, and it was like the Chinese community saying, you can't teach non-Chinese, so we're going to bring our champion here. You're going to fight that guy. If you win, you can teach the people you're teaching. But if we win, you got to agree not to teach anybody who's not Chinese. And Lee won because he's Bruce Lee, okay? He won. But he realized afterwards that his mind was caught up in all this junk, right? That literally, even though he won, it's almost like he said, okay, then this is not a match. There are no rules here. And when he went back over it, he realized that there were rules in his head that were controlling him that didn't need to be there. So he kind of branched out. He went off of classical kung fu, you know, into what eventually became his Jeet Kune Do. Well, since they did probably somewhat the similar stuff, you know, he studied forms of martial art. Let's call him jujitsu when he was younger. And then he meets this guy who's doing somewhat jujitsu form, but he's Aiki Jitsu. In other words, it's the forms of jujitsu, which is torque and twist and position, but it's energy, Aiki, right? It's not Aikido yet, but it's Aiki. Okay, Jitsu, not Aikido. And in a sense, he kind of takes it, he transforms it into his Aikido, which is what we're trying to do. Nobody's really succeeded in doing Aikido like him, but we're aspiring somewhat to try, okay? So one of the things that everybody stand up so the legs don't die, okay? You turn the hip before you step. I react and freeze. I step back and put a lot of muscle into it. Okay, good. Okay, turn the hip, turn the hip. Turn the hip, turn the hip. Free and easy, hip turns, step to the step. Now, that's the wall. That's the mountain I can't climb, and it just keeps, the more I go up, the, okay, turn the hip, cross. Reactor, outer. See, my mind simplifies the movement. My body starts to be easier. Okay, now. Move the hip. Then you take your step. Move the hip. Take your step. Now, ideally, positive, receptive, receptive, positive is a little smoother than that. Let's add the full motion. Okay. Now, right here is an uke. Breathe. He's getting his joints kind of lubricated a bit. So it's a joint project. He receives the motion. Okay. Arm at least straight out. If you go this way, bend your elbow, he's out of it. Fingers up, elbow up, move your elbow. And if the angle's wrong, move your elbow. So about straight out, fingers up, move your elbow. Okay. Those are a couple of tips. We're not here to get everything totally right, but on the other hand, you got to realize there are parameters. It's a martial arts still. Okay, it's more than a martial arts, Aikido, but it's still, there's certain martial things you got to kind of see mentally. free and easy gets sloppy. We cross the line. When we go the other way, the technique gets controlling and paranoid. Okay, so right in the middle, there's balance. Free and easy. There's a certain technical precision that comes out of the free and easy. We need to cover both spheres right there. Okay, so let's go all the way into the pin. Keep the same partner. Okay. Yeah, good. Now, one thing I'd like to have you do a little bit. Okay, we'll kind of draw him into your orbit a little bit more. Okay, so he's a little far out there. He's facing. Draw him a little bit more, so boom. Okay. See, a little, you took a couple steps back. This is why I create the mountain that the more higher I go, the taller the mountain. Yeah. Okay, good. And so the receptive is in a position with a positive to just kick in. So there's a little kind of space there. You get the feeling of it? Okay. Yeah, that's if the receptive is full, the positive just kicks in.
Right.
Okay.
Right.
You know, in the old days, not right now, the 49ers are a mess. You have Joe Montana, he'll get to the ball.
Yes.
On the other hand, though, if you're Jerry Rice, you create separation, you give the quarterback a chance to throw the ball. You see what I mean?
Right.
So there's that area where you're receptive, positive. The wide receiver, it's receptive, quarterback, positive. Okay? So you don't want quarterback staring downfield and then getting hit by a blitzing linebacker. There's Jerry running free, touchdown. Not going to go 6 yards, 8 yards. I'm going to go 40 yards for the touchdown. You know that feeling? It's vision. That's receptive. But then again, I have to be able to have the courage to make that throw. Okay? But right here. Too far. Receptive. See, if this kicks in, the positive just kicks right in with it.
Right.
So they have a nice ambiance right there.
Right.
You know, receptive, positive, the ultimate teammates.
Right.
Okay? All right? Huh. Hello. Yeah. Now, again, you're creating the mountain. Oh. Let's have a wind up.
Oh.
There. Yeah, if I go through this way, I just create an obstacle right there. Receptive, positive kicks in right there. All right. Right here, yes, receptive, positive kicks in. Receptive. I'm too quick out here. Receptive. The positive kicks in. Beautiful law. No sense they called it Izanagi, Izanami, Amaterasu, Susanna. Probably had it. Fire, water, heaven, earth. Right? So when you're here, and now you're thinking, when you think you freeze. So your mind is important, but your mind is about consciousness. Put it out there. Easy. Easy with your mind. You understand it enough. But when you go into thinking to do it, you create a separation. The receptive and the positive had an argument. They're not talking to each other. Okay, I know what that's like. You probably do too. Sure? So you're carrying too much stuff. No, free and easy. Free and easy. The terms free and easy, free and easy, free and easy. That's good. Okay, right? And that's a space that you want to kind of soak in. All right? The two forces are having a good time together. They communicate, they create together. Okay, now we're going to do this, whatever, or conversely, we go over here, and you know, kind of this sort of motion, motion. There's a lot of things, if you come in this direction. Okay, good, this motion. Whatever, boom, whatever, right? Whatever, boom, receptive. Right? I can help it. Over there. Right here, boom, 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 boom. Yeah, you come with a striking motion. Roll. Right. Now, one of the things about that, if you stop, it snaps. So just keep going. Take a forward roll. Take a forward roll. It's not a hard fall. It's a forward roll. If you think I gotta stop this, just take a forward roll. Good. All right. This stuff, I'm gonna put you 16th century samurai armor. Gotta go through the armor, doesn't it? When your mind creates a blockage, in the old style, even the armor, there's a break. We don't want to do that, is that we progress past it, but martially, receptive, the positive. Now, okay, positive, the receptive. We changed the movement right there. Okay, now a little bit right there. You're admiring the view.
Well, he is handsome.
Yeah. You're part of the tapestry. Full receptive, full positive. You're part of the action, not. I'm watching Star Wars. You're Han Solo. A little different.
Sure.
We need to get the Millennium Falcon out of here fast. Gee, I can't remember. How do I do that? You're in the audience trying to figure it out. You're Han Solo. You're in the action. You're part of the movement. Okay? Now, one of the things, there's receptive, there's positive, but there's you. You are there. Okay? Go. Yeah. Okay, all right. Now we have a, let's say we were to give the receptive. There's a positive here. It continues all the way there. Okay. The receptive is supported by your own interior positive. Conversely, positive has a receptive listening. There's communication going on. So that's why the practice of it is, Aikido is supposed to be transformative. We're taking old stuff, okay? Let's just put him in the 16th century and he's wearing armor. Okay. Underneath that armor, there he is. Underneath that armor, there he is. So sometimes I kind of, people don't necessarily get that, you know what I mean? This stuff is supposed to go through the armor, you know, he's wearing armor. He's wearing armor. Right? You're not reacting to the armor. You're communicating with who's in the armor. Battlefield wise, a lot of this stuff was actually pretty nasty. But if you go back over this is like jujitsu, Aiki, whatever it was tested on the battlefield, These armor here. Okay, good. Now, inside that armor, there's a person. Okay. That's why it was Aiki, even though it was jitsu, not do. You see what I mean? All right? The armor, it's not going to do me much good. Let's go through the armor, isn't it? So the Aiki sort of implies a receptive positive to it. There's somebody wearing armor, all right? The receptive positive still applies. In fact, the techniques probably were practiced somewhat. You were training with somebody who was wearing that stuff because that's what you're going to run into in the battlefield. And somebody had to kind of coach us, say, be easy there. This is Aiki jujitsu, not jujitsu. Jujitsu, what do I do? Aiki jitsu. All right? Right? Now, since they kind of turned that into Aikido, because, basically the Aiki jitsu, what are you doing through the armor is probably breaking and tearing. Okay? All right, that's battlefield stuff. But even in the training, if you break everybody or you're broken yourself, you can't train in practice. So, they have to kind of have certain things. Since they kind of, in some sense, began to say, there are these energies there. And, you can work with ki in terms of manipulation, control, and power. But when the receptive positive, Izanagi, Izanami, Amaterasu, Susano, fire to water, heaven to earth, they start to talk. They go into a balance that's very creative. And when you hit that calm zone, it's almost like you are their child. Their balance empowers you. Okay, and so when you do that, you're not in the jitsu phase anymore. You're in the aikido because you're sharing that balance with somebody. Okay, for example, yeah, good. In receiving that, the system is learning about energy beats, learning about energy shapes. All right? Even though this is instead of I'm going to break your wrist through the armor, no, we're creating a sculpture there. It's a part of that wave sculpture. And so, it's the art, even though it's a martial art, it's just passed on in a constructive way. That's the Aikido. It's supposed to be jujitsu, right? People still do Daito Ryu somewhere, right? And some Aikidoists go to Daito Ryu because they don't find any answers in Aikido. But a lot of that is that they're too much into the form and control through the form, right? And I don't really know how good Daito Ryu is. I'm not terribly interested in it because I'm more interested in the energies. Okay, so everybody stand up, back, receptive, positive. Still positive, still positive, still positive. But positive doesn't mean rip and tear. Okay, and again, the hips rotate before you step. Now here, I get punched in the face, but what if we go, that receptive positive is very smooth. Hips turn, hips turn. Hips turn, hips turn. See, as you understand the functioning of the body, your mind is less cluttered. And in that state, your mind and body talk, you start to kind of understand, not understand, but feel, tap. The energy flows. And then it's a co-creation, you and your partner. It's not you creating something. It's almost like, I'm a great painter, but I don't have an easel. I don't have any brushes or anything. I need some stuff in order to be able to paint a canvas, don't I? So me, the materials, but also I need something to inspire me to go and try to create, right? And here the partner relationship here is to understand that yin yang balance, that whatever it is. So we're going to go back again. Easy on the turn. Receptive here. Okay. Let's change partners. We're going to just switch into the shihinage movement. Okay. Okay. Bigger and being overwhelmed. Okay. Bigger motion. Bigger motion. Smoother. The receptive can be huge if you want to make it good. Okay, now, okay. Something was missed. Receptive, positive. Fuller the receptive, the fuller the positive kicks in. Good. Okay. Now the other thing I'm good. Good. Feel that? All your energy starts to drag there. Okay, all right. Careful a little bit right there. See this motion. If you cut that short, pull that.
Oh, hi.
Yeah, okay. So make sure receptive, positive starts. All right. Receptive, positive. Okay. I want to give you the feeling that the whole universe is in your arm. And the universe is very alive. Okay. So when you're kind of in that the receptive to positive shift, receptive, now right there, in your mind. Because when you're thinking about receptive, it takes something away from it. So after a while, it's not that you don't think kind of more the imagined feel of it. Okay, so if I'm coming at you, good, 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 good. Feel that motion right there. Then you go da 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 da. You step and you turn. They don't give you the heavy elbow, do they? Okay, all right, okay, all right. Easy right there. Not just a step back, there's a receptive to it. Yeah. I can't allow the fullness of receptive because I'm thinking about it. What is your mind? Not your thinking. Mind is intelligence. And sometimes in my thinking, I'm creating a little wave in the ocean when I need to be the ocean. And I think I'm studying the ocean by focusing on the wave. And I'm going to get a little bit of that ocean, but I'm going to keep going back and forth in that little parameter. That's thinking. Now, the ocean is more imagination, it's intention. And paradoxically, your mind creates your body. So your body frees up, doesn't stop halfway through. Good. And right there, we hit a wall because the mind started to create the wall. What are those things they say? You don't beat him, you win over yourself. Good. Now we're still creating the wall. Step, but turn your hip. Now turn your hip before you step. The way Bruce Lee put it is simply to simplify. When you simplify, your mind functions. Your mind is a force. Most of the time we can't handle that, so we think. If I put it on glasses before you look at the sun, but at some point, don't keep those glasses on and forget to take them off. Situationally, yes, I'm going to look at the eclipse. Turn your hip, step, turn your hip. Good. And all we did, your mind is still involved. It's just in a simpler process as opposed to all the feels turning.
I was feeling it.
Your mind is present. The feel just means your mind is not interfering with your body as much. Turn your hip, step, turn your hip. Good. Now, think about the turn. No. See, we create our own interference pattern. So after a while, the game is okay. Who am I? Am I the interference pattern? There's a lot of people doing that in the last election had that stupid interference pattern where we have to vote for this guy that we voted out of office last time. It was very destructive. It's going to raise tariffs. It's going to cause goods to go up. It's going to reduce taxes on the rich. What does that mean? It means that the corporations are going to price gouge more because they can. So you guys reacted because the other candidate was basically black and female, and you elected a monster creep. And we will all pay. You see what I mean? That's that little wave taking over the ocean. So, easy again. Turn, turn, good. Now, hold it. Relax and turn. Good. Yeah, I'm creating your weight. No. What was it Pogo said? I've discerned the enemy and it is us.
I've seen the enemy.
I've seen the enemy and it is us. Discern's better than see. All right, because discern just means you say, see, I see something and a bunch of people, well, I see the other candidate, she's a woman and she's black. Okay, we'll vote for the other guy. It's stupid. I discern the other guy is total loser. And she's laying out some very good foundations, empowering more people than him who will empower the ultra rich. Okay. That's discernment. Intelligence takes discernment. Are you briefly looking at that? I'm stealing everything from you. But you like what you see. And then
The mirror.
and Christ God's in you, right? You know, it's crazy. And I'm gonna And you're going to vote that guy into office? That's crazy. Okay. 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 Now, quick little exercise. Breathing. In breath, out breath. Let's just use a word, call it calm. Now, I'm going to try to understand calm, and I'm going to try to get calmer, easier now. Calm is calm. Notice my breathing starts to get a little deeper, more natural off of that. When I think about breathing, how do I breathe better? It's calm and easy. In breath, receptive, out breath, positive, right? The breathing gets deeper, more natural. In breath leads to out breath, leads to in breath. It's like a relay where one passes the baton to the other, and there's no real weight or drag to it. Right in the middle of that, there's breath. You're still breathing, but that's the balance place. And so what did we start out with was calm. Well, that's kind of what that balance is a bit like. Other words are like it's clear, it's open. Easy there. I get so busy out there. And then I keep hitting walls and creating mountains I got to climb. So easy there. Nikizuchi Sensei used to say you should always train like you're going to go into battle with a sword. Shinken Shobu. But the other side of that is you go into battle with a sword all nervous or too pumped up, you're going to probably die. All right. So when you're going into battle with a sword, you got to know who you are, got to know what you're doing. But on the other hand, you got to be very easy there because it's a live blade. It's not just practice in the dojo, right? But how to transpose practice in the dojo everyday life to have that easiness that you would have if you were going into battle. So you're a warrior, but you're a warrior of the spirit. You're not going to carry a blade around, but you give things their proper attention. You keep your mind as uncluttered as possible so that the mind is intelligence. It's imagination. Mind is a force. And most of the time, we're afraid of it, so we create this dialogue we call I. Okay. So an original thought, calm. What does that do? The mind creates the body. Body starts to relax, open. The mind relaxing, feeling itself creates a body to relax. The body relaxing rejuvenates the mind. It's a beautiful system. Okay, good. Now, everybody up. So when we're here, this is the receptive, and this is the positive. We kind of mentioned to some of you. See, my mind creates the interaction. It's too cluttered. So you simplify it. What if I turn the hips before I step back and turn the hips before I step in? And initially, it's a big jump because I start to operate more in what you might call a flow. Then my mind interferes. I understand that. Now I'm going to make it better. Yeah. And then it's easy there. For a while, that dialogue that's going on in here It's like we mentioned, it's like a little wave that thinks it's the ocean. Easy there. There are other waves or bigger waves, finer waves, and there's the ocean. I go here, go here. I rotate the hips. Right here. See, I'm creating weight about the throat. What if I just relax and rotate the hips? So the mind is still there. It's just simplified. What if I do twist? I step. I got to move her. What if I get to here and I get to here and all of a sudden she makes her elbow heavy. Oh, makes her elbow heavy. Good. I don't want to get caught up in that little wave that thinks it's the ocean and the ocean is drying up. Now, it may dry up because we're screwed up the environment. It's going to get worse, unfortunately, in the next 4 years. But you don't lose hope. You're a warrior of the spirit. Balance. Easy there. Easy. Easy. It's a natural ambiance. We represent receptive, positive. Uke is the receptive, Naga is the positive. We're creating a balance together. But the most important thing is in doing that with your partner, you start to get a balance in your own system. We're also a receptive, positive system. And you're offering, there's a balance there. Therefore, the hips rotate. Boom, they counter rotate. We keep that connection right there, right there. There's no hip and elbow there. The movements are done well, but I'm not interested in doing the movement well. I'm interested in getting the positive receptive in my own system to coordinate with her receptive positive system so we create the Aiki moment together. That's what I'm working on. You can get too caught up in the technical things and for a while you're worrying about your fingernails, right? Which is more, that little wave that thinks that the ocean gets pretty smart. And it starts to steal all the vital force of our lives right there. So easy. Okay, now what I thought we'd do, oh here, good. Now what we're gonna do, right here is the elbow goes into the heart center. All she's gonna do is take a forward roll. Okay, now again, most of this stuff was probably created for battlefield. She's wearing armor. The joints are still somewhat vulnerable. That was probably in the old days of triple break. I've had body workers tell me, that shihinage, man. Oh, shihinage, shoulder, elbow. But nobody comes here to get a triple break. We need to be able to practice in a way that's constructive to create the Aiki design. So we're still going to rotate, the hips move back, boom. Now what's the difference? We still step just a little slower. And right here, the elbow here goes into more my heart center. She receives emotion, just does a roll. It's nice to do that because you might go to a school where somebody figures they're going to make you do that. You might have to understand how to roll out of it as opposed to somebody kind of doing some damage to your arm, okay? But here we're kind of constructively setting it up. If I hold on a little bit there, it looks like that, but the essence of it is just the forward roll. It's a hard fall. This is a martial art. Most of the guys that do that, what would they do if something? The twist, the torque wouldn't work to an armor. But one of the things right here, it's armor here. Good. There's still her there. There's still the Aiki, which means there's communication. Oh, okay. Now, I want everybody to do that, but all she's going to do is take the roll. I'm going to hold, and that happens. I don't want to. Now you're much wrong. Fall. We got a tough dojo. Not really. Somebody newer. It's a more advanced roll position, but it's still a forward roll. If you start thinking hard fall, then They set to take the hard fall, and all of a sudden they're out of the flow, aren't they? And uke starts to fear the thing, and so the nage appears to be kind of powerful and have power over you. But here, one of the things about it in this particular thing, right, is that she's easy with it, easy with it. She gets back up. Now, right in the middle of it, she might get the feeling that there's some stuff that either she's wearing armor or goes right through the armor, doesn't it? And she's cool with it because we have a kind of a nice relationship where we're practicing a martial move in a safe, sane way. And she learns and increases her skill set as the receptive uke. And I learned a little bit how to do that. Now, for me, I'm going to straighten the arm out. And if you don't jump, your arm's going to snap. I prefer, instead of the wrist going to the shoulder, the elbow goes on the turn to your heart center. And at that point, then you practice a nice, easy roll out of it. And if you feel up to, tell your partner to hold on, and you do a splat. But it's more like a drum solo than it is you're going to break your arm. You see what I mean? Okay, so let's spread out. It's going to take more room. In fact, let's do threes in the group. Okay, all right, let's go.
Why don't we stay on this?
Yeah, okay, all right. Yeah, that's good. So, yeah. Let's just see if we can easy here. Come on. Now, what I want you to do, we'll give you a better angle. Breathe, feel your toes, feel the lift. You're lighter, just follow the lift. Now you're going clunk, 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 and take a forward roll. Take a forward roll. That's nice and smooth, isn't it? Now, take a forward roll, but there's a lift. Then now let's take a helium balloon and let's rotate it. Yes, don't jump, just roll. There's a ball, we push it. Now, if I take the ball and I throw it and it bounces, back, roll position, you're round, you're on the ground. All you're going to do is roll. You're not going to bounce. Yes, good. Now, I'm going to set you up that direction. You're on the ground, you're a ball. Good. You're getting up that arm position. Now there's going to, now hold there for a bit. Now you're going to get a little bit of a lift. It's a little lighter. You're just going to ride that lift. Okay? Right? That part of uke is right now when you're rolling, your key is collapsing in. It's called a black hole. Let's reverse it. Something radiates out as opposed to collapsing in. Okay, so when you're here, relax, and that radiation out gives you a smooth lift that goes through everything. And that's the beginnings of it, okay? Right? Now, when we go here, now there's a bunch of stuff going on to get your feet, bend your knees a bit. I'm going to let go. You just roll with that lift. That's better. It's a smoother roll. That's what you'd be doing. When you're following the way you are, you're creating all this chaos in your system, okay? Easy. The whole purpose of something horrendous is to transform itself into something which is transcendent. Sometimes things are, crazy, and easy there. If you have that, I give you a live blade, you're dangerous. If you go into like this, then, it's like, the light kind of shines through your pore. You're relaxed. That's the balance of the receptive positive. In a larger sense, we all come out of the universe. We're all children of the universe. Universal mind, the design of creations. Universal body, matter, and energy. Need them both. And we come out of that design. Okay? I'm playing a game right here with the pores in my body radiate. It's a game. They don't really. Huh? Yeah. And when he rolls, you kind of want to have that lift right there. And right now you're collapsing into that black hole. It's reversing. Okay? Yeah. So sometimes the imagination is important because other than that, somebody goes here and they just, now, his pores are starting to radiate that light. Notice how there's that lift to it. As much as you call it, that's a hard fall. No, if you know what it is, it's kind of fun. Right? Yeah. So that's transformation. Okay? Right? Okay. Yeah. Yeah, one of the things we were bumping into, original mind is where things like imagination and intention come out. Okay? And really, we're not really in touch with the mind. We're in touch with mental activity that calls itself I. So what you want is the I to be very easy. Easy, by the way, is not easy because we're wedded to this. And one of the things are paradoxes. Where are we running from? So this gets too intense right there. We're kind of running from ourselves. Mind is a force. Mind creates body. The whole universe, the way Einstein put it, I just want to be able to think like God. Everything else is a detail. And most scientists studied the details. And when he was talking about God, he was very clear. He said, I'm not talking about the biblical God. But things like space, time, matter, energy, I'm not smart enough to create. But all of a sudden, all that had to be imagined into being, right? Something had to imagine the totality of stuff, and before we come out of it, so we are a piece of it. Okay? Yeah. And there's such a kind of, it's almost like, you have a remote. And you go like that, your TV goes on, or you go like that, the lights go on. Well, it's like Einstein's compass. 6 years old, there's a force at work here. We'll call that electromagnetism. The thing always points north, unless there's other activity around, which is distorted, which means there's other forces at work. It's electromagnet, okay? So you've got a remote. The TV goes on. Electromagnetism, I think. Right? Physics didn't, the only thing about physics I liked was quantum physics. The rest of it I found pretty boring. Okay? But what if all of a sudden you're here and there's a light in your remote that goes on, the TV turns the remote on. And I think what Osensei kind of found was your body is the remote. The TV sets the universe. And we have a capacity to connect, but there's a connection back. And I'm making this up because I don't know this. So he was into koto kama. And so we say, is that electromagnetism? No, there's other stuff when you're talking about the universe and who we are. And so koto tama is the study of vibrational things. Okay? In other words, you name something, it can name you back. And then there's the koto tama effect, okay? And one of the things that comes out of that is imagination. Now, for example, put your arm out. And imagine that light is coming out through the pores of your body. That's imagination. Okay, now put both arms out. Imagine light is coming out the pores of your arms. Now, put the arms down. Imagine that light's just emanating from you. Not an idea, imagine. And your mind might go, this is a bunch of junk. I came to twist wrists and smash people down. But, all right. But one of the things, for example, is stand up and stretch your legs, okay? Good. Good, good. Imagination puts me in a different state of mind and body. She's kind of in kind of a fluid, weightless place, even though she still has mass and everything. So there's a transformation going on. Because one of the things we're doing is we're saying, I feel her weight. I learn to relax and kind of push a little better. Oh, all of a sudden the light's going through the pores of my body. Oh, and within that field of light, there are waves and waves. And so you start to engage more than just your normal mind. What you're creating, some people say you have a light body. That's good. You have a key body. The universe is energy. It's not just, see what I mean? Matter, energy. And by the time we're here, we're dense and we're biological matter. So we're very, very complex, creating all this complex activity here. Easy. Easy. It's a more original state. It's our birthright. Since there was somebody, as far as I can tell, that understood how to tap that and be that. We called it being one with the universe. Okay? So it was almost like you got this remote, and the universe is the TV screen, but oh my God, the remote's activated here. Ooh, what's that? You're the remote. You're good. Good. All right. So I'm giving you a visual. Now, for example, let's say we go here. Boom, 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 boom. If you kind of notice that, she kind of floats down. It's a different level of body than just, okay, I'm going to take a hard fall. So I don't like that term. Tough dojo. You're a brown belt. You got to learn how to take hard falls. It's like, yeah, that exists, but I prefer not to go there. Okay. Because the imagination is like, you will, it gets too military. Now, martial arts, or in some sense, are military arts, right? But there's a difference between a soldier and a warrior. I'm talking about a fighter or a basketball player. We're warriors of the spirit. What is spirit? Spirit is the actual activity, balance of the universe, of which we are a part. Okay, so for example, here, I'm doing this movement and I'm kind of doing it mechanically, and now it's hard for a time. Yeah, it's a pain in the butt. But all of a sudden, I'm engaging my imagination. How do I do that better? Well, why don't you just try? Now, there's also light going through her pores right here. And even though there's an impact there, it's been transformed. So in the Do Sensei's book, in some sense, it's a very important book, The Art of Transformation. Conflict, competition, become creation, co-creation. Okay? So just stand up for a second. So put your arms out. What if light is going through your pores? What if the source of that light is radiating from your core? What if there was a beat going on? Those are things that you start to kind of sense after this. So sensing is very important. But sensing comes out of imagination. Now relax. Just when you're standing here, okay, just easy there. The light starts to shine through the pores. What is that? It's a different level of you. When I'm in that state, my mind I'm not the dumb wave perpetuating itself, thinking it's the ocean or reacting against the ocean. I'm starting to kind of feel like I'm a part of the ocean. Okay? Yogis will tell you, matter is just light. This whole world is an illusion that's very real when we're in it, feeling our weight and thinking and reacting off of stuff like that. And so, it's like, okay, the larger design. We're much more. I like the O Sensei stuff because, he was like a comic book superhero to me when he first started. I like that better than go to school for 4 years and get a job. So I went to Japan and studied with people who knew him. And also my first teachers here in the Do, Fraser senseis, were people that were moved by him. What I kind of found was that the Americans maybe understood him a little better than the Japanese did. They realized what he was doing wasn't Japanese. Japanese are. All right, so if we kind of go this way, then the flip switch is the imagination. So the game I'm playing right now, just for a second. There's light going through your pores. Feel lighter, but I'm grounded. I feel the balance in my own system. And my mind's not going into, wow, that's a problem. Yeah, sometimes people go that way. It's not easy with that. Oh. And as I'm kind of in this state, I begin to kind of feel like there are waves. So there's a whole energy dimension. There's also the universe that ties directly into our imagination. The difference in a lot of ways, I think, between the Jujitsu and the Aikido was that the Aikido was about creation, not about control and technique. I told you probably, okay, we'll get a moving energy through your wrist, crunch, good, limited. Okay, but receptive, positive. So in that, I find that when I'm in that state, my yin yang mind body balance go into better levels, and I find that it does transform things, right? We have 4 years coming up of president I'd rather not have be president. Easy there. I'm not going to leave the country. Some people are. I understand. But I'm just going to hang out and let karma take them eventually. Easy. If I'm the instrument of karma to some degree, so be it. But that's kind of holding the sword. That's a live blade. It's not a simulation. You're pretty cool with things. And when you can kind of go, there's a whole other world going on when I just shift into the energy and engage with my imagination. The light going out. Oh, okay, good. So that's a whole dimension that's available to us. And when I'm in that, I'm not terribly interested in creating wars or doing anything other than just sort of making sure that some of this stuff is activated. Because we can't solve the problems of the world without imagination, intelligence. The Aikido is that's just a physical activity, but to empower us to develop the imagination, because your mind is a force. And most of the time we're going, whoa, what's that? Easy. Okay. All right. My partner, she's woke up today and she just a bundle of energy, which is very different than the last 4 years. But a couple of days ago, she was going through a lot. And so I said, okay, we've had this before. This is Nado Sensei's monster theory. Okay. What's your monster? Well, it's kind of like this orange ball of energy. Huh. I said, well, okay, let's play a game here. Let's just say the monster's an ally that your system can't handle right now. So let's just ask it to show in a form that's more compatible to you. And so she said, yeah, okay, I get it. It's kind of like this blue. So she said, you mean all that time that I was reacting to the orange, this was there? I said, probably, because that's the way we are. Right? Like, for example, here he grabs and that's the orange. This is the blue. And all they did was just shift my attention from seeing it as a monster to say, what are you really? Okay, thank you. Right? And I think Sensei's major thing for us is just like monsters, we all have them, the energies that we're not quite so comfortable with. But you see them as allies. You don't see your uke as an enemy. You see your uke as a partner. It's very important. Okay? And most important question we ask is all of a sudden you go, okay. That energy, that is all of a sudden an ally. Then you got to ask the question, who am I? Really? In other words, we're all of us today, Elle's bouncing around. It's the 4 or 5 years of no energy and gloom and doom, and all of a sudden says, Jack, I think it was that thing we did the other day about the orange energy into the blue energy. I said, wow, I didn't know I was that good, but you see what I mean? We all have that stuff in there that our mind keeps kind of going, and we go, okay, I know you're not really a monster. Show me what you really are in a way that kind of, instead of creating this in my system, I can do that. And she got the blue. Went, wow, this is different. And then it took a couple of days, and all of a sudden today, she's like, got this energy. I'm going, hey, you're walking. You know, hey, you have purpose. Why don't you come to class? No, I'm going to stay home and do some dojo work. I'm like, okay. All right. So that's the whole thing. Most of the time we got constructs in our head. Why the orange? Because maybe we're afraid on account of who we really are. All right. And so we put on these glasses and see these orange and take the glasses off and it's blue. Oh, or just with a shift of thought imagination, I've got light going out my pores, right? And so right about here, oh, okay. Didn't happen last night, but one thing about Stephen Curry, he's uplifting. People tell you that. And nobody, you meet him, he comes up and says hi to you. Well, I wish I were more like him. But you know, he has kind of that radiance, that glow there. And you know, certain people have it, but you know, I mean, Osensi's contention was we all have it. All right. Okay, good. Good, 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 good. So with a little subtle shift, maybe what we can do is take the next 4 years, transform. We take the negative stuff, we're easy with it, and just see. Now I wish I could take Donald Trump and say, okay, why don't you transform into who you really are? And the country would be great. No, I eat Big Macs. Okay. I don't think that's going to happen, but it'd be nice. Anyway, this fell out and we'll. Okay, thank you very much. Okay, real brief. We have holidays coming up, Thanksgiving. Okay. So this coming week, no class on Thursday, obviously. And we have an online class on Friday, but we're going to take a rest. But I intend to be here Sunday after Thanksgiving for our regular training. Somebody might want to, unless you're out of town, right? You might want to come back and just move around a little bit after Thanksgiving. Okay, so that's the immediate future. Okay, thank you very much.